Absolutely. Where else is spirit? Right in here. Yes, absolutely. All the time, every time, in every way. This is called the switching out of the binders. Let's all have a moment while we're switching out the binders. I like to start out with a little something funny, so I love this slide. It's spring, and we are so excited that we wet our plants. Of course, that lands differently when you're not living where it rains all the time. I'm not sure if we've had to wet our plants yet, but when the time comes, we will be prepared for that. But aren't you all so excited? Just driving into church this morning, it's like there's this metamorphosis of color and beauty blooming every single way I turn. What a moment in time. And we are on a journey. We're on a journey this morning. There is a journey that the soul must take. One that does not rise at first, it descends. A descent into places that we've hidden, the stories that we've believed, the parts of ourselves that we were taught to deny. And yet, what if this descent is not a fall from grace, but a movement into it? A movement into grace. Today, I invite us to the sacred symbolism of Palm Sunday, not as observers of history, but as participants in its inner unfolding. So I'm inviting us to participate in the service today. Because Palm Sunday is not merely about a man entering a city. Jesus symbolizes our I am identity, our divine spiritual self. It is about the I am entering the center of our consciousness and beginning the great work of transformation. It symbolizes the up-leveling of thought towards higher consciousness, riding the ego, the donkey, into the soul's city, Jerusalem, for ultimate purification and transformation. Yet, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. We're going to first start out facing fear, having the courage to enter Jerusalem. So let's set the stage, shall we? There was tension in the city. Fear was in the air. The political and spiritual leaders did not understand Jesus. They felt threatened, they resisted, and they rejected. Fear will do that. It will distort the truth. It will defend the familiar, even if it's not right. It will push away that which it cannot control. And it will certainly keep us from feeling connected to and operating from our divine source and truth. And Jesus, he had already been driven out. He had been warned not to return. His disciples were afraid. And yet, Luke chapter 9, verse 53, his face was set toward Jerusalem. Jerusalem represents the center of consciousness, the home of our soul. And it's up to Jerusalem. Going up symbolizes an ascension into higher spiritual thinking. So Jesus moved forward anyway, not recklessly, but purposefully. He wouldn't be dissuaded as he knew his purpose. Have you ever felt like that? Yeah. That quiet knowing within you that says, go forward. Even when you're afraid. That moment when your heart is pounding, your mind is questioning, and something deeper says, this is your path. Go forward. This is yours to do. Gulp. Usually there's a gulp. Right after the surrender, or right before the surrender, there's the gulp. And you take the step. And then sometimes we look around to see if we got it right. You know, that external validation stuff. Whose approval are you living for? Let's be honest for a minute. How often do we look outside of ourselves for approval? How often? I had to laugh shock because was it just yesterday? Just yesterday, we went and saw a play here in Port Angeles. By the way, they have one of the finest playhouses. And they did an amazing job. But it's so funny because I remember I had on this outfit to go to the play because with my line of work and what I do, I have to dress up all the time. I have to. And sometimes when I'm out playing, I like to dress up. I like to be casual. So I had asked Tony, I was like, does that feel okay? And he was like, yeah, I like it. But I was really not feeling comfortable. I wasn't feeling playful. So I wanted to go put one of my play outfits on. And I kept asking him, how does this one look? How does that one look? And I'm like, girl, just go with the one you feel good in. Just go with the one that feels like play. So that's what I ended up doing. But I have to kind of laugh at this. How often do we look outside of ourselves for approval? Now, and I don't mean to make light of it because I was talking about an outfit. It can really apply to most and everything in life, where we may look outside of ourselves for our truth, try to gauge what might be right and what might be the right way or the wrong way to go. Who knows? And when that approval is withheld, so we're being honest, we look outside ourselves for approval. Sometimes it's from family, sometimes it's from friends, sometimes it's from our community. And when that approval is withheld, we hesitate, we shrink, we second guess. Whose approval did Jesus seek? I don't know if anybody heard you, but I did. The Father's approval. The Father's approval. I think he sought his own, actually. I think he sought his own approval and God's, but they're really one and the same, right? Because remember, Jesus symbolizes our I am identity, our spiritual divine self. So he stayed true to his purpose, teaching, healing, loving, regardless of how it was received. He kept on being Jesus. Just kept on being Jesus. And this is our call as well, to be true to our true self by staying connected to our divine spiritual self, to move forward even when misunderstood, to live our purpose and not perform for approval. And yes, sometimes that means you're the only one clapping at your own parade, sometimes. Yet stay with it. And the right crowd shows up eventually, and you will find yourself surrounded by like-minded people who also desire to stay connected to their divine self. Because like attracts like. Like attracts like. So now we move into Jerusalem, the consciousness of peace. Metaphysically, Jerusalem represents a vision of peace within us. So just imagine that right now with this whole Palm Sunday story. The city of Jerusalem represents a vision of peace within us. It is the abiding consciousness of spiritual awareness. And Jesus going up to Jerusalem signifies something powerful, the ascent into higher consciousness. And here is the paradox of our talk title today. The ascent begins with a descent. Because to rise in awareness, we must first see what has been hidden. Jesus rides into Jerusalem on a donkey. This symbolizes the I am, the divine identity within you, taking control of the animal forces of your being, your instincts, your habits, your reactive patterns. We talked about that last couple of Sundays, the rut stories and the river stories, and how deep those ruts can be. It can make it hard to get out of those habits and those reactive patterns. But here is the good news. You are not asked to destroy them, only to master them, to lift them into alignment, to transform them from unconscious drivers into willing servants of the soul. Which is wonderful, because some of our inner donkeys have been driving for years without a license, wouldn't you say? So now Jesus is moving into Jerusalem, entering the city of Jerusalem, and now we face the multitudes. Your thoughts in surrender. So the crowd gathers, they rejoice, they cry out, Hosanna, Hosanna. And that's where Palm Sunday comes from. The palm branches are laid down, garments are laid down. It's done in an effort of great reverence, of great cheering, of showing their their support. And this represents something super profound. When the I am takes authority, your thoughts begin to align in joyful obedience and surrender. The palms symbolize victory, the triumph of spiritual consciousness over limitation. You know, back when you started driving those inner donkeys. Have you ever experienced that moment when a belief shifts and suddenly there is a peace where there was tension? The freeing feeling of coming into alignment. At some time, most of us have been a part of a crowd that welcomed maybe a great hero or expressed appreciation via a standing ovation for an amazing performance, or maybe even cheered a championship team. Go Seahawks! Might be the wrong crowd this morning, but go Seahawks. You all need some coffee, don't you? I can tell. Remember, the enthusiasm that marks such an occasion, we have a vague idea of the spirit in which Jesus was welcomed into Jerusalem on that first Palm Sunday. And Hosanna, the awakening command. Hosanna means save now. Not when everything is perfect. Now. It is not a plea to an external God. It is a command from the heart to wake up, recognize inner power, and transition into higher awareness. Is there anything trying to get your attention right now in your life that might be saying, hey, wake up, wake up, take command of the heart, recognize your inner power. A declaration that says, I am ready to awaken. I am ready to rise, and I am ready to live from my divine nature. And then he gets into the temple, known as the inner cleansing. So Jesus enters the temple, and let's just say, well, he gets passionate. Y'all know what kind of passion I'm talking about? Yeah. Tables are overturned. Coins are scattered. The system is disrupted. Sorry, baby. The system is disrupted, and why? Why did he disrupt the system? Why did he turn the tables? Why did he fling the coins? Because the temple represents your body and mind. And the money changers are the false beliefs, the fear-based thinking, and the attachment to material identity. And the inner I am says, this is not what this space is meant for. My house shall be called a house of prayer. Through the right use of the I am, we take conscious possession of our inner world. We clear what no longer serves. We reclaim the temple. So Palm Sunday begins the process of cleansing the temple, where the inner I am clears out material attachments and false beliefs through the money changers to purify the mind. So I am going to be introducing a wonderful comparison to the symbolic meaning of Palm Sunday through a relatively popular series that was shown on Netflix and still is shown on Netflix. I think it came out in 2016, called Lucifer. But first I'm going to go to this funny comic strip here that's a little bit of like what we're talking about right now. It says, this week on The Amazing Race to Enlightenment, can Jim and Susie achieve right mindfulness? And will Barb and Candy be eliminated for relentlessly clinging to the sun? This week on The Amazing Race to Enlightenment. So much in that picture, folks, so much. That's really where we are in our journey right now on Palm Sunday. And now I'm going to talk about the comparison of the series Lucifer. Has anybody here ever seen Lucifer? Oh, good, some people have. Yay. And it's okay if you have it, it's okay if you haven't, because it's an incredible parallel to the Palm Sunday symbolic journey that we have been on so far. So now here is where the story today becomes beautifully contemporary, because in Lucifer we see a profound metaphysical truth revealed. We actually see a few. Lucifer believes that he has been cast out, blamed, misunderstood. He sees himself as a victim of fate. But then, the revelation that hell is not a place that God sends people. It is a place people create through their own unresolved guilt. So let's let that land for a minute. We are not punished for our errors. We are bound by them. So Lucifer's devil face was self-imposed. It would come on when he was angry or felt duty-bound to punish the wrongdoer, yet he realized it was a way that he was punishing himself. It was a physical manifestation of his own self-loathing. He realized that we physically change based on how we subconsciously view ourselves. That could be a whole talk in itself. When he felt like a monster, he looked like one. And when he began to feel worthy of love and started doing good for its own sake, his devil face vanished and his angel wings returned. Yet, in moments of deep shame or when he fell back into his old role of punisher, the face would return, symbolizing his inability to forgive himself. He reached 3 major realizations. The first one is, I'm not my father's prisoner. I am my own. For eons, Lucifer blamed God for his rebellion and his face. He eventually realized that he was the one holding the keys to his own cage. His father didn't make him look like a monster. Lucifer's own guilt and resentment did that. Vulnerability is strength. Realization number 2. He realized that his devil face was a defense mechanism, a way to keep people at a distance by being terrifying. By letting the one he loved see the monster and her staying, he realized that being truly seen is more powerful than being feared. And number 3, acceptance of the whole self. Lucifer stops trying to get rid of the devil's side or earn the angel side. He accepts that he's both. Brings us to wholeness, right, folks? Wholeness. So Lucifer ultimately discovered that his calling wasn't to rule and not to punish, but to heal. He became the therapist of hell, helping souls face their guilt, release it, and then rise to heaven. The sacred descent, entering our own hell. So this is the sacred descent, to go within and to face our own guilt, our own shame, fear, old stories, not to condemn, but to understand, so that healing can take place, so the realization of wholeness of who we really, truly are can take place. Because what we avoid persists. What we face with love transforms. Lucifer returns to hell voluntarily, and so must we. I mean, not literally, of course, but inwardly. We must be willing to sit with what we have avoided. So there's a very, very powerful song that plays right into this storyline. And I'm all about the music and feeling, and so we have it ready to go. It's called Me by Paula Cole. So I'm going to invite you. You may look at the slides, or you can just close your eyes and go within, but I invite you to allow the music to have its way with you, and just kind of pay attention to anything that might come up.
I am the sun.
So how do you feel?
Beautiful, thank you.
Some of the best songs I've ever heard about me.
One of the best songs you've ever heard about me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. We are our worst enemies. Thank you.
To me, it makes the monsters. Just like Lucifer. How else do you feel? Just share how you feel. Don't be shy.
But, you know, it's the validation of, so I'm always saying I'm my own worst enemy, and everybody goes, yeah, well, you know, those are the words in your head. We're not saying them. So, yeah, I love this song. Thank you.
I love that picture. Anybody else? Just one word that describes how you're feeling.
Hopeful.
Hopeful. Excellent. What else?
Powerful.
Powerful. At choice. At choice.
Choice. I'm working hard today to get out of my head.
Any other one-word feelings?
It's more than one word, but we're all born with angel wings. We choose to put those devil horns on.
We're all born with angel wings and choose to put those devil horns on. Yes. Yes. Free will. We have the power to choose again and again and again. One of the greatest lessons from Lucifer is this: we are not bound by fate. We are shaped by choice. We may not control everything that happened to us, but we always have the power to choose how we respond, what we believe, who we become. Even the devil can choose to become a healer, and so can we. So, let's now take a quick look at Pilate, the will and the responsibility. So as we move through the Holy Week, Pilate represents the will, the executive power of the mind. But without spiritual understanding, the will can act blindly. When Pilate washes his hands, he attempts to avoid responsibility. But we cannot escape the consequences of our consciousness. As it is often said, we are not punished for our sins, but by them. And metaphysically, the definition of sin is missing the mark. We're not punished for missing the mark. We're punished by missing the mark. Avoidance does not free us. Awareness does. You are the universe becoming aware of itself. Have you heard of the autobiography in 5 short chapters? The autobiography of life in 5 short chapters. We're going to go through this. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I see it. I still fall in. It's now a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault, and I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. And then the crowd chooses Barabbas. Barabbas. I always mispronounce his name.
Barabbas.
Barabbas, thank you. I knew I was going to do that. I practiced. Barabbas. And then the crowd chooses Barabbas. Why did the crowd choose Barabbas? Because the multitude represents thoughts attached to external forms. They resist transformation. They prefer the familiar even if it limits them. Does that sound familiar in any part of your life at all? We've always done it this way has delayed more enlightenment than we realize. This deep work in consciousness intensifies throughout the experience and culminates in a process of crossing out old ideas and great transformation. Unity calls this purification process chemicalization. Our old tapes, worn out beliefs, and negative programming are sacrificed. We have to sacrifice those things so that we may rise into a higher expression of Christ consciousness. The stirring up of old patterns, the releasing of outdated beliefs, the temporary discomfort of transformation, it may feel chaotic, but it is sacred because something new is being born. And then, after the descent, comes the cleansing. After the facing, there is a return. Not to who you were, but to who you have always been. Whole, divine, aligned. The soul no longer exiles itself. The shadow is met with compassion. And the inner voice of truth says, welcome home. So how do we honor the Christ within and why? We honor the Christ not through ritual alone, but through living. I am choosing to step into my divine power and to express myself fully. Go to the next slide, please. When we remember we are spiritual beings, think constructive thoughts, speak words of truth and love, see the divine in others, choose faith over fear, practice forgiveness with compassion, and live with generosity and purpose. When we do these things, we are rising into a higher divine expression and living it. This is vastly important because the world is literally transformed, next slide, as individuals become more awake. So we're on the why. This is so important, folks. The time is now. Hosanna. Hosanna in the highest. It is the time. It is the time to save ourselves. It is the time to transform and become awakened. Next slide, please. Each time a new person awakens to the universal truth, the whole of humanity rises a notch. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little responsible for up-leveling the consciousness right now. I really, really want to do my part. Every single way and possible chance that I can get. How about you? How about you? So, beloveds, I'm not there yet, but we'll get there. You have the opportunity to make this a holy week in your life, to walk consciously, to think intentionally, and to love deeply, to allow the sacred descent and trust the profound return. So let us practice stillness, let us practice presence, and let us practice the awareness of God within. So we're going to do some affirmations to close up the talk today, and they're up here on the slide, so I invite us to say them together. I honor the sacred journey within me. I face all that arises with courage and compassion. I release fear and step into truth. I welcome the I am into full expression. My mind is a temple of peace. My heart is open and awake. I am becoming. I am returning. I am whole. And so it is. Thank you.